Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. That's the dust I'm blowing off of this channel. Because I haven't posted on this channel in like a month. It's been a really long time since I've been over here. And every month, I'm coming up on 8 years of having this channel. May 11th will be 8 years. I started this channel May 11th of 2016, and it's been a long road. Last year, I even missed my anniversary of this channel, which I almost never do. So, every month, going into each and every month, I'm like, I'm going to be more active over here. I'm going to be more active. It's always my main goal. Well, not my main goal, but it's one of my top 5s every month that I'm going to be more active on this channel. So, I swear, starting in March and April, I'm going to be more active over on this channel. I really miss coming over here. I have, the funny thing is, I have so many videos, like outlined, well not outlined, but I have like an outline of videos that I want to make for this channel. I have hauls that I want to do. I have Audible hauls that I want to do. I have physical copy book hauls that I want to do. I have reviews that I need to do for Peter's Book Club. I have so many videos that I want to make over here. I have discussions that I want to talk about. I have things that I want to talk about to do with Colleen Hoover, James Patterson. I have discussions that I have on my other channels about things that I want to talk about over here. I want to talk about finding the essential cozy mystery, why I've fallen down the rabbit hole of thrillers all again. I have so many videos that I want to make over here, and, you know, honestly, it's just time gets away from me. So, going into March and April, I'm going to make a concerted effort to post over here more. I miss it over here. And every time I post, I just have to say this, I always get a bunch of comments in the comment section, and people are so nice. And they're like, Peter, I miss you over here. I wish you would post more often. I missed posting. I missed it. I miss posting over here on a more regular basis. The thing is, you know, I thought, like, having 7 channels was this fantastic thing. It's this maneuvering of trying to, you know, like, figure out how to, like, get all that done in a day. And, you know, it sounds like I'm making excuses, and maybe I am. But anyway, the end of the story, long story short, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I miss it over here, and I miss talking about books, and if you watch my other channels, you guys know that I have continued to read. I'm a few books behind on my Goodreads challenge this year, but listen, we're gonna get it. My goal is 100 books again this year, which is interesting because I don't really think it's that hard of a goal. I started off the year really, really good. I started like 5 books the first week, and then it was like 1 book for the rest of the month, and I'm back on it. I'm reading The Housemaid, and my friend Tiny Jean just got back from Florida, and we were talking while she was down there. She was like, what are you reading? And I said, I'm listening to The Housemaid, because I've been walking, and so while I walk, I read. And she said, oh, I think I read that. And so I was like reading her the synopsis, and she was like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. And she's like, Tanya loves thrillers. And so I was like, well, you know, I like fell down this rabbit hole of thrillers because I started listening to a lot of thrillers through Reese's book club. And then she was like, well, I wish there were more in that series. And I go, well, there's the second one, and then the third one's coming out this June. And she goes, really? And so we were talking just the other night, and I said something to her about I was trying to finish this. I'm still trying to finish it. And she goes, oh, I listened to the second one, or I read that. She doesn't listen to books. She was like, I read the second one in like one night. And I was like, really? And did I just say listen again? She read the second one in like one night. And I was like, was it that good? She goes, yeah, it was really good. She goes, I can't wait for the third one to come out. So I'm reading The Housemaid right now. I've fallen kind of down this rabbit hole of thrillers, which will explain to you the book that I picked for Peter's Book Club for March. Now, I want to explain something, because people seem to be confused about this. There is no live stream with Peter's Book Club. I just want to make that clear. It's just a book that I pick. It's kind of like Reese's Book Club, where I just pick a book for all of us to read together for that month. And my goal at the beginning was that at the end of the month, I would do a review of that book, and we would talk about it. What I think I'm going to start doing is the first week of the following month, I will do a review, and I'm committed to this. I will do a review, and then you guys can leave your comments or what you thought about the book in the comment section below. But that's all you have to do to join Peter's Book Club. You just have to read the book along with us, with me, whoever reads it. I actually get quite a few emails from people, more emails than DMs, and people will say, I'm so glad that you picked this book, or I'm so glad that you introduced me, because we've been reading a lot of cozy mysteries. This month, it's not a cozy mystery. And then I also want to explain some things about a true crime book club. So, a true crime book club, we usually do a live stream. Well, we were doing it every month. Then we moved it to every other month, and then we were trying to go back to every month, and then we had taken a long hiatus. It's just been a cluster, you know what, it's been a mess on the True Crime Book Club. And so we have been like aiming at coming back. And so like February and March were going to be like our months. We're like, we're back, right? And then Mel is in the middle of a move. Mel is currently, and she's at the very end of it, the very tail end of this huge move that she and her husband did into a new place, which is very exciting. They're in a new place, right? And they're very excited about it. But it kind of set things back as far as the book club, and she's got to get everything set up in her house before we can do it. So we're going to start the live streams back up in April. And here's the other thing, and I know there are some people out there, I've already gotten like some comments about it and stuff like that, and people are like, well, I don't have Facebook and whatever. So we were doing it on YouNow, and one of the reasons why we were doing the live streams on YouNow was because you could guest multiple people, okay? So like Mel and I could both be hosting the book club, and then other people could come into the book club. YouNow, I don't know why, but every time I sign on to it, it's real glitchy. And so the last couple times we tried it on there, I've had to end live stream short, and if you guys have joined, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just real glitchy, people can't hear me and things like that. And so it also has to be me signing on to it. So we were trying to find a different format. Some people had suggested Facebook. So Mel and good Judy Nikki from the book club, they tried Facebook to see if it would work. They did like a test run and it worked fantastically. And you can also guest people on Facebook Lives. So we're just going to hold our live streams for the book club on the Facebook Live from the book club. And, you know, in all honesty, and I know that there are people that are like, well, I don't have Facebook and whatever. Well, the book club exists on Facebook. I mean, it's a Facebook group. So it just makes a lot of sense that I don't know why we didn't think of it before, honestly, but it just makes a lot of sense that we're going to start doing it from Facebook Lives. And then also, if for some reason I can't get on there, then Mel can host it and she can lead the live stream or something like that. So it doesn't have to be like both of us and it coming from me signing it. It just makes a lot more sense. They did a test run and it works fantastically, and you can guest multiple people over there. So it'll be very similar to what we're doing. I also think that then a lot of people will they'll see, oh, it's, you know, the day of the live stream, we're going live and whatever. So I want to explain that. So the live streams will start up again at the end of April. And that's, you know, just how it's going to go. And then in April, what we'll do is we will cover the February and the March book for the April live stream, and then we're going to probably get back to doing it every month. So, like, in May, we'll cover the April book. In June, we'll cover the May book, things like that. So we're going to go back to probably doing it every week. Or every week, not every week, but every month. We're going to go back to doing it every month. It just makes a lot more sense, and I think people seem to enjoy it a lot more. So, some new things with the True Crime Book Club. I'm very excited, but again, if you just want to read the book and just comment in the book club, or, you know, just read along with us, that's completely fine too. So yeah. So the book for February that we're reading for True Crime Book Club is Blood on Their Hands by Mandy Matney. I read it. It was fantastic. I read it very, very well. I listened to it on Audible. I think it's Mandy Matney actually narrating it. It was fantastic. It was really, really good. And in fact, I'm kind of surprised that it's not getting bad reviews. It's just not getting a lot of reviews. And I'm kind of surprised because out of all the books that we've read in a True Crime Book Club, it's probably the one that I would closest compare to I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is literally how the True Crime Book Club got started to begin with, because we love that book so much. I love that book so much. I love the Golden State Killer case, but I have to say that part and parcel, I have a friend of mine that always says that, part and parcel of my interest in the Golden State Killer is honestly the following of Michelle McNamara, who wrote I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and her comparing her life with the life of, or like, she, like, you know, intertwined her life as she was going. Mandy Matney does the exact same thing in Blood on Their Hands. It's so geniusly written. It's fantastic. And I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I very rarely ever give a true crime book 5 stars. So if you haven't read it yet, you have some time till the end of April to read it. So please go read Blood on Their Hands by Mandy Matney. Mandy Matney has a podcast about the Murdaugh murders. She was one of the very first people that was like on the scene investigating the Murdaugh murders. And so it's all about the Murdaugh murders. But really, to be honest with you, it's the Murdaugh murders and the disappearance or the murder of Stephen Smith from her perspective of what she's going through at that time in her life throughout the investigation, and how she like sees things through her perspective. It's very, very interesting. It's fantastically done. So that's our book for February. And then, you know what? I can't even remember what the book was. Somebody asked me if I was going to do a live stream about it the other day. Hold on, let me go into my Goodreads here, my reading challenge, and I'll know what it is. Okay, so the book for February for Peter's Book Club was we were going to piggyback off of whatever Reese Witherspoon picked. And Reese Witherspoon picked hold on a second, I just had it pulled up here. Redwood Court by Delana R.A. Dameron. It was fantastic. I loved it. I listened to it in like 2 days. It's not a thriller or anything like that. She has a lot of thrillers. It is a story about a girl growing up in the 90s, and it just was fantastically done. There was a lot of history to it. She picked a book, I think, specifically for Black History Month, and it just was really, really well done. It was beautifully written. The author is actually, I think, mostly a poet, and went to, like, NYU for poetry and things like that. And I think she's won awards for poetry. It is beautifully written. It's a beautiful tale. It's a story. But I will say that there's, like, not any, like, huge, you know, like, conflict that happens that you're waiting for. It's a story about these people's lives, and this young girl trying to identify in a white society as a black woman, and where does she find that identification from her family's history, from what people put on her and things like that. It's so interesting, and it's so well done. It's beautifully, beautifully written. So, and I think I gave that 5 stars as well. So that was the book for Peter's Book Club for February. So let's get into the March books for True Crime Book Club and Peter's Book Club. Okay, well, I'm excited about Peter's Book Club. So we'll do a True Crime Book Club first, since I already have it pulled up, actually. So the book for Peter's Book Club, or for True Crime Book Club for the month of March, is called While Idaho Slept: The Hunt for Answers in the Murders of 4 College Students. Now, one of the things that Mel and I discussed, and we're going to try to do going into 2024, is we're going to try to pick more cases that are relevant currently, and that are being talked about. It's one of the reasons why, well, she loves everything to do with the Murdaugh murders, which is why we read Blood in the Hands, but also because it's a relevant case. We're trying to pick more cases that people are talking about right now. Part of the problem with this, is there's not usually fantastically written books about relevant topics. And we are also very, very interested in serial killers of the past. So we will continue to do that. So here's the book. The book is called While Idaho Slept: The Hunt for Answers in the Murders of 4 College Students. And I have to tell you, even as a person that lives online, I don't really know a whole lot about this case. So I'm interested in reading it. I know there's a documentary that's out right now about this. And this is by Reuben Appelman, J. Reuben Appelman. The author of the acclaimed true crime memoir, The Kill Jar, tells the inside story of the University of Idaho murders, offering a memorable, thoughtful dive into our societal fascination with true crime, the media's seeming blood frenzy, and the future of homicide investigations, while cultivating an intimate look into the minds and hearts of the victims and their suspected killer alike. Just after 4 a.m. on November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were viciously stabbed to death in an off-campus house. The killings would shake the small blue-collar town of Moscow, Idaho, dominate mainstream news coverage, and become a social media obsession, drawing millions of clicks and views, while a reticent Moscow Police Department, the FBI, and the Idaho State Police search for the killer. Unending conjecture and countless theories blazed online, in chat rooms and platforms from Reddit and YouTube to Facebook and TikTok. For more than a month, the clash of armchair investigators and law enforcement professionals raged, until a suspect, a 28-year-old PhD candidate studying criminology, was arrested at the family home 2,500 miles away in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania on the day before New Year's Eve. While Idaho Slept is a thought-provoking literary chronicle of a small-town murder investigation blistering beneath the unceasing light of international interest, as traditional investigators, citizen sleuths, and the true crime media acted, sometimes together, often in conflict, to uncover the truth. And it goes on to ask these different questions. So I'm really, really excited about that. It just came out, I think, in October of 2023, so it's rather new. And that's the book that we're going to be reading for a True Crime Book Club. So, are you excited? I am very excited about reading that. I'm actually going to watch the documentary tonight or tomorrow that just came out. I think it's on Hulu. So, now let's get into Peter's Book Club. And let's talk about what we're going to read for Peter's Book Club for the month of March. Are you ready? Are you ready? This was actually something, I'll tell you where this idea came from, okay? I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. I am going to continue to pick cozy mysteries because I love cozies. Cozies. Don't you love just calling them cozies? I love that. My neighbor and I all the time are like, are you reading a good cozy? But anyway, so we're going to read 2 books for Peter's Book Club. I saw the second one come up, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting, because I can remember reading the first one years ago, like right after I'd first gotten sober. I was like house sitting for my dad or something like that, or over at my dad's house, and I can remember sitting in the back patio, like reading it every night. And and read everything by John Grisham. We're going to read something by John Grisham. And so I read like 5 books in a row. I can't remember. It might have been a couple years after that. I read like The Street Lawyer, and I read like The Pelican Brief. I read all these books by John Grisham and loved them. And at that time, I was reading a lot of like pulp fiction kind of stuff, like James Patterson and David Baldacci. John Grisham. I love John Grisham. John Grisham is actually somebody that I don't feel like has really ever sold out on his craft, unlike some of these other people, and I still enjoy David Baldacci from time to time as well. So I went in here and I looked, and it came up, I think, as I had seen the second one come up. So there's a sequel that just came out to The Firm. Now, I had read The Firm, 26, 27, 28 years ago, and I had seen the movie with Holly Hunter and Tom Cruise and stuff like that. I don't remember anything about it. Like, I don't think that I've ever seen that movie since then, and, I've seen a couple of the other ones. Read The Client as well. I've seen a couple of the other ones. Did your Goodreads ever give you like a hard time pulling stuff up? Hold on a second. Okay, here it is. The Firm by John Grisham. So The Firm is the first one. So we're going to read The Firm. Now, I can tell you, I looked it up on Audible. I bought it on Audible, and it's 17 hours on Audible. The second one, the sequel, which I think is called The Exchange, is like 9 hours. So I thought it would be fun to read both of them. I remember when I read The Firm originally, I don't even remember what it was about. I remember it's about an attorney taking, like, he has to take his bar exam, and he starts working, that's Tom Cruise, and he starts working for this law firm, and then he finds out something shifty about the law firm and all this kind of stuff. I remember it being very scary, and I can remember, like, reading it and being, like, drinking coffee and, like, looking around like, oh my God, and I love that feeling when reading a book or watching a, true crime documentary or a thriller or something like that. By the way, I am totally fallen down the rabbit hole of Harlan Coben. Harlan Coben novels adapted into TV shows on Netflix. I'm like in love with them. So anyway, and so I'm like, okay, I don't remember anything about it. I want to read it again. I don't feel like it's the kind of book that if I start reading again, I'll remember it right away. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember like the end of it at all. Like I've tried to check my mind and I'm like, no, I just really don't remember it. So I'm really excited about that. So if you've never read The Firm before, let's get into this. The Firm by John Grisham. It came out, let's see what year it came out. It came out in 2000. So I would have been, I think I must have read it like the year after it came out or right after that. So I got sober December 17th of 1994 going into 95. So I would have been 5-6 years sober at that time. So I guess it wasn't right when I first got sober. Needless to say, I don't remember this book very much at all. Okay. An adaptation. This is the adaptation for younger readers. Why is that? Hold on. We want what it says. 622,000. Okay, Mitch McDear is a young, intelligent, and ambitious lawyer. When he gets a job with a top tax law firm in Memphis, he is delighted. But he quickly becomes suspicious after mysterious deaths, obsessive office security, and the Chicago mob figure it into its operations. The situation only escalates when Mitch discovers that the firm is listening in on his phone calls and that the FBI want to speak to him. Money and power has a price, and it could be Mitch's life. And it goes in and talks about adaptation or something like that. Let's get to the original John Grisham novel here. Why is it? Well, that's the one that shows up. So, anyway, the sequel to that just came out. Why is this not showing up? Oh, because it's the newest book. Oh, well, let's just go into The Firm, and then it'll have part 1 and part 2. Oh, no, it doesn't on this. Why is it not showing The Exchange on here? Sometimes I tell you, I just cannot figure out. Oh, here it is, The Firm Part 1. This is a totally different one. This is like the newer version of it. Okay. When did it come out originally? Oh, 1997 it came out, which means I would have been, yeah, I didn't think it was that long after I got sober, which means it came out September 8th, which means I would have been coming up on 3 years sober. That sounds a little bit more right. Okay. At the top of his law class at Harvard Law, Mitch McDear had his choice of the best law firms in America. He made a deadly mistake. For a young lawyer on the make, it wasn't. That other one was like adapted for like middle school or something like that. I don't know why middle schoolers would want to read about well, I don't know. Maybe I did. I was reading Jackie by Lucky Collins in middle school. For a young lawyer on the make, it was an offer Mitch McDear couldn't a position at a law firm where his bucks billable hours it goes on. Okay, so we already read that. So the second one that just came out is called The Exchange, and it's Exchange after The Firm. Now, I have to tell you, okay, New York Times bestseller. I've tried not to like really read a lot about it because I don't remember what happens on the first. But anyway, basically what it is what became of Mitch and his wife Abby. And so it's like what happens, and like that's as much. I got to that sentence and I was like, I'm not reading anymore because I don't want to know by the synopsis of what happens in the beginning one. So those are the two books those are the three books that we're reading for the month of March. For a True Crime Book Club, we're reading about the Idaho murders, college murders, and then for Peter's Book Club, we're reading The Firm and The Exchange, Firm After the Firm, by John Grisham. Whew! Got a lot of, I can't speak, got all that out. Anyway, let me know if you're going to read along in the comment section below. I promise you, I'm going to be more active over here in the month of March. I miss you guys so much. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.